I'm Emma, 28 years old. 3 weeks ago, my stepmom threw all my belongings into the pouring rain in front of 60 people at my father's birthday party. I didn't cry. I didn't beg. I just pulled out a folded piece of paper from my pocket, handed it to her, and said 5 words. Read it. Out loud, now. Her face went from smug satisfaction to pure white in about 3 seconds. She looked at the paper, then at me, then at my father. Her hands started shaking. My father grabbed the document. He read it. Then he stumbled backward, like someone punched him in the chest. This can't be real, he whispered. Oh, it's real, I said. Very real. What was on that paper? Why did it make my stepmom's $4,000 Hermes purse slip right out of her hands onto the wet ground? Why did 3 of my father's business partners immediately take out their phones and start making calls? Before I tell you, please like and subscribe, but only if this story resonates with you. Let me know in the comments where you're watching from and what time it is there. I read every single comment. Now, let me take you back 8 months, to the day my father sat me down in his mahogany-paneled office and told me that Linda, my stepmom, would be handling the household affairs from now on. I should have known right then what that meant, but I didn't. I was still naive enough to think I had a place in this family. Let me paint you a picture of my family. My father, Richard Monroe, is a commercial real estate developer. He's worth about $12 million, maybe more. He drives a Mercedes S-Class. He wears watches that cost more than most people's cars. His office has floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. Our house, 6 bedrooms, 8 bathrooms, indoor pool, 3-car garage. Located in Brookhaven Estates, where the cheapest house goes for $2.3 million. Everything screams money. My father married Linda 5 years ago, 2 years after my mom died. Linda's 43. She looks like she walked out of a country club catalog. Perfect blonde hair, perfect teeth, perfect everything. She wears Chanel like it's her uniform. Her nails are always done. She smells like expensive perfume, the kind that comes in tiny bottles and costs $300. She brought her daughter, Melissa, into our lives. Melissa's 25. She's got Linda's looks and Linda's attitude. Daddy bought her a BMW for her birthday. Daddy paid for her marketing degree. Daddy set her up in a condo downtown. Melissa calls my father Daddy Richard. It makes me want to throw up. Then there's me. I'm a school teacher, 3rd grade. I make $43,000 a year. I drive a 2012 Honda Civic with a dent in the passenger door. I buy my clothes at Target and Nordstrom Rack. I eat meal prep on Sundays to save money during the week. I still lived in the house where I grew up, the house where my mom planted roses in the garden, the house where I learned to ride my bike in the driveway. But after Linda came, I felt like a guest. No, worse than a guest. Guests get treated with basic respect. I felt like a stray dog they couldn't get rid of. My room was on the 3rd floor, the smallest bedroom in the house. It used to be a storage room, actually. My mom and I converted it when I was 12. We painted the walls light blue together. We picked out curtains with little stars on them. After Mom died, I kept that room exactly the same. Her paintbrush strokes were still visible if you looked close enough. The curtains were faded, but I'd never replaced them. It was all I had left of her. Well, that and one other thing, but I didn't know about that yet. Linda hated my room. She said it was an eyesore. She said it brought down the aesthetic of the house. She wanted to turn it into a yoga studio. I should have seen it coming. But what I didn't see coming, what Linda and my father had been planning behind my back for 8 months, that's what I'm about to tell you. Let me take you back further, to the beginning, to when Linda first moved in. At first, she was nice. Too nice. She'd smile at me. She'd ask about my day. She'd make comments like, "We're going to be such a great family, Emma." I wanted to believe her. I really did. My mom had been gone for 2 years. The house felt empty. My father was always working. I was lonely. So when Linda suggested family dinners and movie nights, I thought maybe this could work. Maybe I could have a family again. I was so stupid. The first crack showed about 3 months after the wedding. We were having dinner. Linda made salmon. My father was talking about a new property development. Melissa was on her phone. I was just sitting there, trying to be part of the conversation. I mentioned that I'd gotten a compliment from my principal that day about a lesson plan I'd created. Linda looked up from her plate. "That's nice, sweetie," she said, but her smile didn't reach her eyes. Teaching is such a noble profession for people who don't have other options. Melissa laughed. My father said nothing. I felt my face get hot, but I didn't say anything. The comments got worse. "Emma, honey, are you really wearing that to dinner? We have guests coming." "Emma, could you park your car in the back? It's just, it doesn't really fit with the other vehicles." "Emma, I'm redecorating the living room. I'm going to need you to remove your mother's photos. They clash with the new design." That last one? That's when I started to realize what was happening. Linda wasn't trying to build a family. She was trying to erase me. My father never defended me. Not once. When Linda made her little comments, he'd just bury himself in his phone. Or he'd change the subject. Or, and this was the worst, he'd agree with her. "Linda's right, Emma. You should dress more professionally. Your car is pretty beat up. Maybe it's time for an upgrade?" He never offered to help pay for one. "The photos. Maybe we should put them in your room. This is Linda's house now, too." Linda's house. Not our house. Linda's house. I started eating dinner in my room. Then there was Melissa. Melissa treated me like I was the hired help. "Emma, can you grab me a water?" "Emma, I left my laundry in the dryer. Can you fold it?" "Emma, I'm having friends over tonight. Can you maybe stay in your room?" It's just easier. One time I came home from a really hard day at work. One of my students had a breakdown in class. I was emotionally exhausted. I just wanted to take a bath and go to bed. Melissa was in the bathroom. My bathroom, on the 3rd floor. I knocked. "Melissa, I really need to get in there." "Use the downstairs bathroom," she yelled back. I'm doing a face mask. The downstairs bathroom was being renovated. There was plastic and dust everywhere. I ended up washing my face in the kitchen sink. But the worst, the absolute worst, they started having family events without me. Linda's birthday dinner. I found out about it when I saw the photos on Melissa's Instagram. All of them at a fancy restaurant. Champagne. Steaks. My father with his arm around Linda. The caption, "Family Celebration." I wasn't invited. Father's Day brunch? Same thing. I spent the morning planning to make breakfast for my dad. I bought bagels and cream cheese. I was going to surprise him. I came downstairs at 9 a.m. The house was empty. They'd gone to the country club without me. I ate bagels alone in the kitchen and cried. I tried to talk to my father multiple times. "Dad, can we talk? I feel like Linda doesn't really want me here." "Emma, you're being dramatic. Linda's been nothing but kind to you." "Dad, I wasn't invited to. We thought you were busy with work. You're always so busy." "Dad, Melissa told me to stay in my room when—" "Emma, stop being jealous. Melissa's young. She's adjusting. You need to be the bigger person." The bigger person. I was always supposed to be the bigger person. I started looking for apartments. I couldn't afford much on a teacher's salary, but I found a studio in a not great part of town. $950 a month. It was small. It smelled weird. The heater barely worked. But it would be mine. I was about to sign the lease. I really was. Then my grandmother called. My mom's mom, Grandma Rose. She lived 3 hours away in a retirement community. I hadn't seen her in about 6 months. Life had been so chaotic. "Emma, honey," she said. Her voice sounded weak. "Can you come visit me? I need to talk to you about something important." "Of course, Grandma. Is everything okay? Just come soon, sweetheart. Please." I drove up that weekend. Grandma Rose was 81 years old. She was tiny, barely 5 feet tall. She had soft white hair and hands that always smelled like lavender lotion. She'd raised my mom by herself after my grandfather died young. My mom was everything to her. When Mom died, Grandma Rose was destroyed, but she held it together for me. She called me every week. She sent me cards with $20 bills inside. She never forgot my birthday. She was the only person who still made me feel like I mattered. When I got to her apartment in the retirement community, she looked smaller than I remembered, thinner. She was sitting in her favorite chair by the window, sunlight coming through the curtains. "Emma, my sweet girl," she said. She held out her arms. I hugged her. She felt so fragile. "Grandma, you're scaring me. What's going on?" She pulled back and looked at me with these sharp, knowing eyes. "Sit down, honey. I need to tell you something. And I need you to listen carefully." I sat down on the couch. My heart was pounding. "I'm dying, Emma." The words hit me like a truck. "What?" "No. Grandma. Stage 4 pancreatic cancer. They caught it too late. I have maybe 3 months." I couldn't breathe. Tears started pouring down my face. "No, we'll get treatment. We'll—" "Emma, stop." Her voice was firm. "I'm 81. I've lived a good life. I'm not afraid. But I am worried about you." "Me?" "I know what's been happening at that house. I know how they treat you." I stared at her. "How do you—" "Your father calls me sometimes. He complains about you, says you're difficult, says you don't fit in with their new lifestyle." Her jaw tightened. "That woman has poisoned him." "Grandma, it's fine. I'm fine. I'm actually looking for my own place." "You're not leaving that house, Emma." "What?" She reached over to the side table and picked up a large manila envelope. "Your mother and I. We knew your father would remarry eventually. We hoped he'd choose someone kind, someone who would love you like their own." She shook her head. "We were naive." She handed me the envelope. "What is this?" "Open it after I'm gone." "Not before. Promise me, Grandma. Promise me, Emma." I promised. We talked for hours that day. She told me stories about my mom, about how strong she was, how she never let anyone make her feel small. "You're just like her," Grandma Rose said. "You just don't know it yet." Before I left, she grabbed my hand. "Emma, listen to me. That house is yours. Do you understand? Yours. Grandma, the house is Dad's. Just trust me. When the time comes, open the envelope and don't let them push you around anymore." I drove home confused. What did she mean the house was mine? Grandma Rose died 6 weeks later, peacefully in her sleep. I was the only one at her funeral, besides a few of her friends from the retirement community. My father said he was too busy with the deal closing. Linda and Melissa didn't even pretend to care. I stood at her grave and sobbed. She was the last piece of my mom I had left. After the funeral, I went back to her apartment to pack up her things. That's when I remembered the envelope. It was in her nightstand drawer, my name written on the front in her shaky handwriting. I sat on her bed and opened it. Inside was a letter and a legal document. The letter was in Grandma Rose's handwriting. "My dearest Emma, if you're reading this, I'm gone. Don't cry too much, sweetheart. I'm with your mother now. I need to tell you something your father never wanted you to know. That house you grew up in, the house at 847 West Haven Drive, your mother bought it. Your father likes to tell everyone he's a self-made man, that he built his empire from nothing. That's a lie. When your parents got married, your mother inherited $2.8 million from her father, my late husband. Your father was struggling back then. He'd just started his real estate business and was drowning in debt. Your mother bailed him out. She gave him $1.2 million to save his business. And with the rest, she bought the house. In her name. Only. I have the original deed. She made me promise to keep it safe. She had a lawyer draw up paperwork that would transfer the house to you if anything ever happened to her. Your father was supposed to tell you when you turned 25. He never did. The house is yours, Emma. It's always been yours. The deed is enclosed. I've had my lawyer verify everything. It's legal. It's valid. It's yours. Don't let them take what belongs to you. I love you, my sweet girl. Be strong. Be like your mother. Grandma Rose. I read the letter 3 times. Then I looked at the deed. Property address 847 West Haven Drive, Brookhaven Estates. Original owner Catherine Ann Monroe, my mother. Transfer date upon death to Emma Grace Monroe. It was notarized. It was legal. It was real. My mother had owned the house, not my father. My mother. And now I owned it. My father, Richard Monroe, millionaire real estate developer, had been living in my house for 5 years with his new wife, acting like he owned everything. He didn't. I sat on my grandmother's bed and started laughing. I laughed until I cried. I didn't tell anyone. Not yet. I took the deed to 3 different real estate lawyers just to make sure it was legitimate. Every single one confirmed it. This is ironclad, one lawyer said. Your mother was smart. She protected you. I made copies. I put the original in a safe deposit box at the bank. I carried a copy with me everywhere. I went back to the house, back to my tiny third-floor room, back to being invisible. But now, I wasn't scared anymore. I was waiting. Life continued as usual. Linda made her comments. Melissa bossed me around. My father ignored me, but I started noticing things I hadn't before. Linda was redecorating again. She'd hired an interior designer. They were talking about knocking down walls, expanding the master suite, installing a wine cellar. We're going to make this place really shine, Linda said to the designer. My husband and I have such a vision for it. Her husband, her vision. My house. Then came the comments about me moving out. Emma, honey, you're 28. Don't you think it's time to get your own place? Emma, I was talking to Melissa, and we really need that 3rd floor for a guest suite. Emma, your father and I think you're too dependent on us. It's not healthy. Too dependent. On my own house. I just smiled. I'll think about it. But what I was really thinking? Just wait. Just keep talking. Linda started getting bolder. She threw away some of my things, books I'd had since childhood, a blanket my mom made. She said they were cluttering the house. She moved my car behind the garage so guests wouldn't see it. She accidentally gave away a coat I loved to Goodwill. And my father? He said I was being oversensitive. Linda's just trying to make the house nice, Emma. Stop being difficult. I wasn't being difficult. I was being erased. But not for long. Then came the birthday party. My father's 58th birthday. Linda had been planning it for months. She'd hired caterers. She'd rented a tent for the backyard. She'd invited 60 people, business partners, country club friends, Linda's family. I wasn't involved in any of the planning. The day of the party, Linda pulled me aside. Emma, I need you to stay upstairs during the party. I blinked. What? It's just, this isn't an event for your father's business. I need everything to be perfect. And you, she looked me up and down. You don't really fit the image. You want me to hide in my room? During my own father's birthday party? Don't be dramatic. Just stay upstairs for a few hours. You can come down after people leave. I stared at her. This woman, in my house, telling me to hide. No. Her eyes went cold. Excuse me. I said no. I'm not hiding. It's my father's birthday. I'm coming to the party. Emma, I'm coming to the party, Linda. She smiled, but it wasn't friendly. It was the smile a cat gives a mouse right before it pounces. Okay, Emma. Suit yourself. I should have known something was wrong. The party started at 6 p.m. I got dressed in my nicest outfit, a simple black dress I'd bought at Nordstrom Rack for $40. I did my makeup. I came downstairs. The backyard looked beautiful. White lights everywhere, tables with expensive centerpieces, a bar, a live jazz band. Everyone was dressed like they'd walked out of a magazine. Designer dresses, expensive suits, Rolex watches, and diamond earrings. I felt completely out of place, but I walked out anyway. before I continue with what happened at that party, and trust me, what happened was shocking, please take a second to hit that subscribe button. This story gets even crazier. Okay, where was I? Right. The party. I grabbed a glass of water from the bar and tried to blend in. Some of my father's business partners nodded at me politely. Most people ignored me. Then I saw Melissa. She was holding court with a group of young women, probably her friends from college. She saw me and waved me over. Emma, come here. I walked over. Everyone, this is Emma, my stepsister. The way she said stepsister made it sound like an insult. Emma's a teacher, Melissa continued. She's so brave. I could never live on a teacher's salary, but she makes it work. Her friends laughed. Not mean laughter, exactly. Just pity. Where do you live, Emma? One of them asked. Here, actually, I said. Melissa's smile got even bigger. Oh, Emma still lives at home. Isn't that sweet? She just can't seem to leave the nest. More laughter. I felt my face burn, but I didn't respond. I just walked away. But Linda? Linda wasn't done me yet, not even close. It started to rain around 7:30 p.m. Not a light drizzle, a full-on downpour. Everyone rushed under the tent. The jazz band stopped playing. People were laughing, holding their drinks, watching the rain come down. My father was standing near the center of the tent with Linda and some of his business partners. He was holding a microphone. Well, he said, laughing, guess Mother Nature wanted to join the party. Everyone laughed. Then he started his speech. I want to thank everyone for coming tonight, my father said. This is a special birthday for me. Not just because I'm turning 58, but because I'm surrounded by the people who matter most. He put his arm around Linda. My beautiful wife, Linda, has made the last 5 years the best of my life. She's transformed our home. She's brought joy and elegance into everything. I'm the luckiest man alive. Everyone clapped. Linda beamed. And my stepdaughter, Melissa. Where are you, Melissa? Melissa waved from the crowd. Melissa is like the daughter I always wanted. Smart, beautiful, ambitious. I'm so proud of her. More applause. I waited for him to mention me. He didn't. That's when Linda took the microphone. Thank you all so much for coming, she said. Her voice was smooth and warm. Richard and I are so blessed. This house, this life, this family, it's everything we dreamed of. This house, my house, planning some renovations, Linda continued. We're going to expand the master suite, add a wine cellar, and convert the third floor into a meditation space. My room. She was talking about my room. It's going to be absolutely stunning, Linda said. That's when I spoke up. That's interesting, I said loudly, because you can't renovate a house you don't own. The tent went silent. Everyone turned to look at me. Linda's smile didn't falter. Emma, honey, what are you talking about? I'm talking about the house, I said. This house, 847 West Haven Drive. My father's face went red. Emma, not now. When, then? I asked. When were you going to tell me that Mom bought this house, that it was in her name? That she left it to me? You could hear a pin drop. Linda laughed. It sounded nervous. Emma, I think you're confused. I'm not confused, I said. I have the deed. My mother purchased this house with her inheritance. My father's name was never on it. And when she died, ownership transferred to me. My father took a step toward me. Emma, stop this right now. Why didn't you tell me? I asked. My voice cracked. Why did you let me think I was living here out of charity? Why did you let her, I pointed at Linda, treat me like garbage in my own house? Linda's face went pale. This is ridiculous, my father said. You don't have any. I pulled the folded deed out of my pocket. Yes, I do. That's when Linda snapped. She marched over to me. Her face was twisted with rage. You ungrateful little brat, she hissed, after everything we've done for you. After we let you live here rent-free. Let me, I said. You let me live in my own house? This house belongs to your father. No, I said calmly. It doesn't. That's when she grabbed my arm. Hard. Get out, she said. Get out right now. Linda, my father started. No, Richard. I've dealt with her attitude long enough. She needs to leave. Linda dragged me into the house. Her nails dug into my arm. Some of the guests followed, probably thinking this was some kind of family drama entertainment. She pulled me up the stairs, all the way to the third floor. To my room, she threw open the door. Pack your things, she said. You're done. Linda, you can't. I said pack. I just stood there, calm, quiet. That made her even angrier. She started grabbing my things. Clothes from the closet, books from the shelves. She threw them into the hallway. Linda, stop, my father said. He'd followed us upstairs, but Linda wasn't listening. She was in a complete rage. She grabbed a box of my mom's things, photos, jewelry, letters. She carried it downstairs. I followed her. So did my father. So did about 20 party guests who were too curious to look away. Linda walked right out the front door into the pouring rain, and she threw the box onto the driveway. My mom's photos scattered across the wet pavement. The rain soaked into everything instantly. I stood in the doorway, watching. Linda came back inside. She was drenched. Her perfect hair was ruined. Her makeup was running. There, she said, breathing hard. Your stuff is outside. Just like you should be. The guests were staring, shocked. Some were filming on their phones. My father just stood there, frozen. And me? I reached into my pocket. I pulled out the deed. Linda, I said quietly, I need you to read something. I handed her the paper. She snatched it from my hand. What is this? The deed to this house. She unfolded it. Her eyes scanned the page. I watched her face change. Confusion, disbelief, panic. This can't be real. Real, I said. Read it out loud. Emma, my father started. No, Dad. Let her read it. Let everyone hear it. Linda's hands were shaking. Her voice was barely a whisper. Property address, 847 West Haven Drive. Original owner, Catherine Ann Monroe. She looked up at me. Keep reading, I said. Transfer of ownership upon death to Emma Grace Monroe. Notarized. Dated. Her voice trailed off. My father grabbed the paper from her hands. He read it. His face went completely white. This is a mistake, he said. Catherine and I bought this house together. Your name is that deed, Dad, I said. Mom bought this house with her inheritance. You know. The $2.8 million from Grandpa's estate. The money she used to save your failing business and buy this house. One of my father's business partners stepped forward. I recognized him, James Chen, a lawyer who'd worked with my dad for years. Richard, James said slowly. If this deed is legitimate, it's legitimate, I said. I've had 3 real estate attorneys verify it. The silence was deafening. Linda looked like she was going to be sick. My father's face went from white to red to purple. You, he started. You've been lying to. You've been plotting. I've been lying? I said. My voice got louder. You never told me Mom bought this house. You let me believe I was living here out of your generosity. You let her, I pointed at Linda, throw my things in the rain like I'm trash. Emma, this is my house, I said, every word clear. Mine. And you've been living in it without my permission for 5 years. Linda grabbed my father's arm. Richard, do something. She can't. She can, James said. He'd the deed. This is legally binding. Catherine Monroe purchased the property solely in her name. Upon her death, full ownership transferred to Emma. Richard, did you know about this? My father didn't answer. Oh my God, Linda whispered. You knew. I didn't. My father started. You knew, Linda screamed. You knew she owned the house and you didn't tell me. You let me spend $200,000 on renovations to a house we don't own. The guests were whispering now. Phones were definitely out. This was going to be all over social media by morning. Emma, my father said. His voice was different now, softer, almost pleading. Let's talk about this privately. We can work something out. Work something out, I repeated. Like what? Like you keep living here rent-free while treating me like dirt? I'm your father. You stopped being my father when Mom died. The words came out before I could stop them. But they were true. You replaced her in 2 years. You replaced me even faster. That's not fair. Fair? I laughed. It sounded bitter. Want to talk about fair? Let me tell you what's fair. I turned to face everyone, the guests, the business partners, Linda and Melissa. My father. You have 60 days to move out, I said. That's what my lawyer advised me as fair notice. 60 days, Linda shrieked. That's generous, actually, I said. Since you've been living here illegally. Illegally, my father said. I'm your mother would have wanted. Don't you dare tell me what my mother would have wanted, I shouted. My mother loved me. She protected me. She made sure I'd always have a home. And you tried to take that away from me. James cleared his throat. Richard, I need to speak with you. Privately. Now, 3 other business partners followed them inside. I heard one of them say, Did you lie on your financial disclosures? If you claimed you owned this property, my father's business empire was built on his reputation, on his image as a successful real estate developer, on his apparent wealth and assets. If people found out he'd been living in his dead wife's house, his daughter's house, and claiming it as his own, his reputation would be destroyed. Linda was crying now, real tears, not pretty ones. Her mascara ran down her face in black streaks. This is insane, she kept saying. This stood next to her, looking completely lost. Some of the guests were leaving, quietly slipping away. The party was clearly over. I walked back outside into the rain. My mom's photos were scattered across the driveway. I started picking them up. They were ruined, water-soaked and torn. A photo of my mom and me at the beach, destroyed. A photo of her in the garden, unrecognizable. I knelt there in the rain, holding the ruined pieces of my mother, and I finally cried. But they weren't sad tears. They were relief. I'd done it. I'd stood up to them. I'd told the truth. A hand touched my shoulder. I looked up. It was James Chen. Emma, he said, let's get you out of the rain. He helped me gather what could be saved and led me back inside. Linda and Melissa were gone. Upstairs, probably. My father was in his office with the other business partners. I could hear raised voices. James took me to the kitchen. Are you okay? He asked. I will be, I said. Emma, I need to tell you something, James said. Your father has been using this house as collateral for loans. If it's not actually his, he's in trouble, I finished. Big trouble. He's told investors, banks, everyone that he owns a $2.3 million property free and clear. If that's a lie, it is a lie. James nodded slowly. This is going to get ugly. Are you prepared for that? I thought about my mom, about Grandma Rose, about every humiliation Linda had put me through, every time my father chose his new family over me. Yes, I said. I'm ready. The next few hours were chaos. Linda packed a bag and left. She went to a hotel. Melissa went with her. My father stayed in his office making phone calls, trying to do damage control. But by midnight, the story was everywhere. Someone at the party had posted videos online. Local news picked it up. Local real estate mogul caught living in daughter's house without permission. My phone wouldn't stop buzzing. Friends I hadn't heard from in years were texting me. Is this real? Are you okay? Oh my God, Emma. I turned off my phone, and I went to sleep in my room. My third-floor room with the walls and faded star curtains. For the first time in 5 years, I felt like I was home. The next morning, I woke up to silence. No sounds from downstairs. No Linda clinking around in the kitchen. No Melissa's laugh echoing through the halls. Just silence. I went downstairs. My father was sitting at the kitchen table. He looked like he'd aged 10 years overnight. We need to talk, he said. I poured myself coffee. Okay, talk. I'm sorry. 2 words. But they sounded hollow. You're sorry? I repeated. I should have told you about the house. I thought I was protecting you. By lying to me? Your mother and I had an agreement. She bought the house, yes, but I built the life we had. I built the business. I thought the house was just. It was a technicality. A technicality, I said flatly. Emma, your father. We can work this out. You don't actually want me to leave, do you? I looked at him. This man who'd raised me. This man who'd once carried me on his shoulders and read me bedtime stories. This man who'd let his new wife throw my belongings in the rain. Yes, I said. I do. His face crumpled. Emma, you have 60 days, Dad. My lawyer will be in touch. You're really going to do this? You really let Linda treat me like garbage for 5 years. So yeah, I'm really going to do this. He stood up. For a moment, I thought he might yell, might argue, but he didn't. He just walked out. That was the last real conversation I had with my father for a long time. Over the next few weeks, everything unraveled for him. 3 of his business partners pulled out of deals. They said they couldn't trust someone who'd commit financial fraud. The bank called in 2 of his loans. Apparently, he'd used the house as collateral without actually owning it. That's illegal. His reputation in the real estate community was destroyed. People stopped returning his calls. Linda filed for divorce. Turns out she'd married him for money and status. Without those, she was gone. Melissa stopped calling him Daddy Richard. My father tried to apologize. Multiple times, he sent flowers. I threw them away. He sent letters. I didn't read them. He showed up at my school. I had security escort him off campus. I wasn't ready to forgive him. Maybe I never would be. But here's the thing. I didn't destroy him. I didn't ruin his business. I didn't go to the press. I just told the truth. And the truth did the rest. 3 months after the birthday party, I went to visit Grandma Rose's grave. It was a sunny day. The cemetery was quiet. I brought flowers, white roses, her favorite. Her headstone was simple. Rose Catherine Williams, 1942 2023. You are enough exactly as you are. I sat down in the grass next to her grave. Hi, Grandma, I said. I did it. I used the deed. I stood up to them. The wind rustled through the trees. You were right, I continued. The house was mine. Mom was protecting me even after she was gone. And so were you. I traced the words on the headstone. You are enough exactly as you are. I'm starting to believe that, Grandma. For the first time in a long time, I actually feel like I'm enough. I told her about the last 3 months, about how I'd changed the locks, how I'd finally moved into the master bedroom, how I'd repainted the living room and hung my mom's photos back up, new prints since the originals were destroyed. How the house finally felt like mine. Dad's struggling, I said. Part of me feels guilty, but mostly, I just feel free. I told her about Melissa. She'd reached out a week ago. She'd apologized. She said she didn't realize how badly Linda had been treating me. She said she was sorry for being part of it. I didn't forgive her. Not yet. But I didn't hate her either. I'm learning how to set boundaries, I told Grandma Rose. I'm learning that I don't have to light myself on fire to keep other people warm. I stayed at the cemetery for an hour, just sitting there, talking to her. Before I left, I put my hand on the headstone. Thank you, Grandma, for seeing me, for protecting me, for making sure I'd always have a home. I stood up, brushed off my jeans. I love you, I said. I walked back to my car, a new car actually. I'd sold my Honda Civic and bought a reliable used Subaru. Nothing fancy, but it was mine, paid for with my own money. I drove back to the house, my house. If you've watched this far, thank you. Thank you for listening to my story. I want to say something to anyone out there who feels invisible, who feels like they don't matter in their own family. You matter. You are not asking for too much when you ask for basic respect. You are not being dramatic when you call out abuse. You are not ungrateful when you enforce boundaries. Sometimes the people who are supposed to love us can't or won't, and that's not your fault. Your worth is not determined by how others treat you. Your value doesn't decrease because someone failed to see it. My mother knew that. She protected me even after she was gone. My grandmother knew that. She made sure I'd always have a foundation to stand on. And now I know it too. I'm Emma. I'm 28 years old. I'm a third grade teacher. I drive a sensible car and shop at Target. And I own a $2.3 million house. Not because I'm rich. Not because I'm successful in the way the world measures success, but because I was loved by a mother who planned for my future, by a grandmother who made sure I'd be protected. That's wealth, real wealth. If this story touched you, please subscribe. Check the description for more stories like this. And remember, you are enough exactly as you are. Someone out there sees you. Someone out there values you. And one day you'll see it too. Thank you for watching. I'm Emma, and this is my story.